Your Humanities Half Hour is brought to you by the Northern Marianas Humanities Council, navigating the human experience together.
Hapade Tero, and welcome to Your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry. Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and what better time than now to talk about love? And here with us is a longtime married couple from our community, Tony and Susan Satur. Welcome, Uncle Tony and Auntie Sue.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to be in the hot spot this week and share about your love and your marriage. Start us off with how you guys met and first impressions.
Don't change it. Okay.
Well, I was going to college at a small Midwestern town. It was Northwest Missouri State University. And there were a few blacks and Tony.
A brown.
Brown. And I used to live in the dorm where his old girlfriend lived. And so all of the girls wanted me to meet Tony, the girl he used to date the girl that lived in my room. So they introduced us and...
Wait, why did they want you to meet him? Why did they think this was going to be a good match?
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know, but they just wanted us to meet, and then we met, and then...
No, tell them that we met at the cafeteria line.
Yeah. Go ahead and
They
tell
introduced us.
Wow, very formal.
I know, they're lining up to go inside the cafeteria.
This was 70s?
Yes.
70s.
80s. Early
Oh yeah,
80s.
1980.
Okay.
1980. And it just clicked. She looked at me and smiled, and I said, wow, this is it.
And then he asked his best friend to ask me out.
On his behalf?
No.
Just to see if I'm going to be loyal.
Oh, wow.
I did that. I figured, if it's not serious, then she's going to go out with him. But he came back and said, no. She said, you guys are going out together.
Wow.
I said, okay, all right.
Nice.
So I passed the test.
Very good. What were your first impressions of each other as...
Oh, that first big smile I got from her is just like sparkles. I said, wow. It's a daylight or daylight savings time. We dated for a while, and when we start getting serious in the relationship, I was going, what the heck? After I finish my education, I'm going to move back to Saipan. I don't think she'll fit in there, in terms of, materialistic stuff and all. So one day I said, if we get married.
No, remember we went to the park first, and I told
you.
Because part of the Carolinian culture is they never say, I love you. It's really hard to show emotion. So we drove to this park, and I'm driving, and I said, if you don't tell me you love me, then I'm leaving.
You're going to walk back 5 minutes.
You're going to walk back.
5 minutes walk to campus.
Because he told me that he would never marry an American, and I was already vested in the relationship.
Oh, shoot.
And I
so
said,
you drew the line.
Yeah, and I said, if you're not going to love me and marry me, then I'm going to end the relationship because I don't want to get hurt.
Oh, she thought I came from a rich family.
I did not. Don't say that. I never thought that.
No, actually, it's when we went beyond that, when the bonding is getting tighter, right? I said, when we move to Saipan, you be raking in our bedroom. She goes, huh? I said, yes, raking in the bedroom because it's dirt floor.
And you know, I don't know if you know Jess Wobble, defunto Jess.
Yeah.
He was backing up everything that he was saying. So I thought, wow, maybe this is really happening. Go ahead.
And then we got married. It was a beautiful wedding. I think it's a big wedding, don't you think?
That you left me at the church.
Yeah. Or we're not going to go in that detail because it's going to be a wow.
Well, he found you again. That's a good thing.
He after we got married, he left with all of his Micronesian friends and left me at the church. He forgot me.
No, I didn't forget her. She keeps throwing this at me. I didn't know that there was a basement in the church, right? So I figured I went out, was greeted by all the friends, families, and then suddenly there's no Susan.
Oh, so you thought she left you?
I thought she went to the reception place. Oh. So I got up on the car and left. I didn't know that she was downstairs.
And the priest, it was Father Bowman. It was the parish I grew up in.
Oh, nice.
And Tony was about 35, 40 minutes late for the church.
Ooh.
Father came downstairs and said, I don't know how to tell you this, and I've never had to tell anybody this, but I think you're going to get left at the altar. And I said, Father, it's Micronesian time. Don't worry, he'll be here. And sure enough, he came. And then I met Father when I got left at the church all by myself. My sister-in-law forgot her camera and came back. And then, you know, we never had cell phones. And Father Bowman says, okay, he left you at the altar almost. And then he's late. And then you're here by yourself. And I said, don't worry, Father. I know what I'm getting myself into. And the Mercedarian sisters were all at our wedding.
Oh, nice.
Because that's where the retirement home is for most of the Mercedarian sisters. So they all came and they said, it's true, Father.
So
Well, I was only 20 minutes.
I know.
Not 35.
so that's normal.
Yeah.
What was it like adjusting to married life when you got back to Saipan?
Oh, that was kind of hard, but I think, you know, accepting it as a reality where it's not about me anymore, it's about us. And you know how I am with sports, right? I want to go play baseball, there's something to go fishing, go golf, and trying to invite her where I know she's not going to go, but at least I invited her, right?
We win. The kids all grew up on the ball field. Most of those ball players know all of our kids because our girls grew up in the dugout and on the bleachers.
So most people in our community know what an avid athlete, official Uncle Tony is. You were okay with it.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I just came and adjusted.
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate that I met her, we got married, and I knew in my heart that she would support me on what I like to do. And I support her in return. And when I'm home, she gets my undivided attention.
So especially back in the 80s, right, the gender roles were probably a little bit stronger then. Did you have certain expectations of each other? And did you have any concerns, or was there anything that needed to be hashed out when it came to who was responsible for what?
You know, I think things kind of just like fall in place. That's the way I see it, because the communication, the understanding, and the teamwork that we had, you know, and it just had things. To me, it was easier on me, and I think it was easier on her too, on blending, adjusting to a relationship that we didn't know it's going to last for 43 years.
At least 43.
Yeah. And she knows I have tea time tomorrow.
He does. But I like that too because it gives me time to do my things. But when the kids were little, we went to all the ball games, went to all the fast pitch, everything with him, so they could be a part of it as well. And then when our kids got bigger, they were paddling, they were swimming, they were competitive, basketball, and so we would go to their games to support them, and then they would go and support him in his sport. So it was everybody was doing something.
Tell us more about your kids.
So our oldest daughter is Martha Leseliang, and then Ne Shengpi, and then Anne-Marie, and then Immaculata. So we have 4 girls who cater to his every whim.
I think all of them were athletes when they were young in
Yes.
high school. They were competitors. I try not to force them to, to continue on with the sports if they're like tired and they want to move to a different sports or focus more on education. And now it's focused on jobs and families.
And they're pretty highly educated. You said 2 of your girls have their masters
Yeah,
already?
and then 2 have bachelors.
Very nice.
They all went to school and got educated and came back.
It sounds like it's been really nice. In fact, you've said that he's never raised his voice.
No, we've been married 43. I'm the fireball.
Okay, has she raised her voice? That's a fair
Many
question.
times, yes, I have. I don't deny it.
When she raised the voice, the volume goes up.
Because
Said, I didn't hear you.
How do you resolve conflict if you do have conflict?
It's just
communication.
communication.
And,
I think with a strong communication skills, for me, I need to listen. And then after, she needs to do the same. And then that's when we work out things that are, having differences in misunderstanding, So I think I'm very fortunate that both of us can share, throw at each other and receive at the same time.
Receive,
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate because Tony's very patient. And that's a virtue that is really, really important because I come from a very loud family. I have had 5 brothers and 2 sisters, and my mom's Italian, and my father's Czech and Dutch, and it's very loud in my house. And so I had to learn to take it down a notch, which was very difficult for me. But one thing he said to me, and I'll never forget it, he said, my mother never raised her voice to me. My father never raised his voice to me. My wife is not going to raise her voice to me. And that's when it was just like a turning point that for me, I realized that I don't have to raise my voice to get my point across. It's still heard.
We're chatting today with Tony and Susan Satur, married for 43 years. We'll be back after this break.
Looking for resources about Marianas history, culture, and more? Well, check out the Northern Marianas Humanities Council's collection. Our extensive video, audio, and photographic library can be found on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at 670 Humanities. Or check out the written resources on our website at nmhcouncil.org. And for those who prefer a good book, we also have a selection of local publications for purchase. So, dive in, explore, and share your comments as we navigate the human experience together.
Welcome back. I wanted to ask you guys, what would you say has been the biggest challenge you faced in your relationship?
Wow. Is there a challenge? I don't know. I cannot pinpoint and say something about challenges. It's to me, it's almost like even. Challenges in life for me is making a 10-footer on the golf course.
Okay, Auntie Sue, would you agree?
Yeah, yes, but also I like the way he describes a relationship where he always says it's like the waves of the ocean. Sometimes there's peaks and sometimes there's low parts. In every relationship, you're going to have challenges and things you need to overcome and to hurdle, but you have to have a strong relationship to know that they'll be coming up on the top of the peak again. So he describes our marriage like the ocean, with the waves going up and down.
Yeah, there will be good times and bad times. It's just like businesses.
You're going to refer to
I mean that, our relationship it's up and down. I think everyone. I would like to see a couple that doesn't have that. But I try to focus more on the great things that happens with us.
Yeah.
You
guys have a good friendship.
Yes.
And we tackle the down part as a team where it makes it much easier to cope with. It's not because it's my problem, I have to cope with it. No, she steps in and help me out, that is going to be affecting us.
I would also like to think that our faith, myself and Lori, we met our husbands millions of years ago when we moved here together, and I often have said that if I wasn't Catholic, I don't think we would have made it, because our faith is the basis of our marriage, and I feel like it has. When we go to rosaries, we go to novenas, all of those activities, we do it together. And I think that's one, bonding. And two, if I didn't have Catholic as my faith, I think it would be hard to go to the rosaries, hard to go to the novenas, because I wouldn't understand the meaning behind it. But because I was raised Catholic, I understand the points behind behind the novenas and behind the rosaries and behind the bellas and the all of those things. I think it helped us. It made it strengthen our faith and our marriage.
I know why.
Why?
I think I was going to be a priest, but I decided not to.
There you go. That's why you fell in love.
He said no.
He wasn't. Well, Auntie Sue shared a little bit about her family dynamics growing up that she brought into the marriage. What did you learn from your parents about marriage?
Oh, there was I never in my life when I was growing up witness or see any quarreling or at home, especially with the parents. One thing when I'm like about 11, 12 years old, where I started with sports, starting to spend more time at the sports facilities with friends and families and teammates. But I never witnessed fighting in my family. I think that's why I thought it's weird, Or maybe they do and they do it quietly without us around. That's what we try to do.
And my family's just the opposite. Fireball. So for myself, I had to learn to tone it down.
What would you say is the greatest strength of your relationship or your marriage?
What do you think?
Well, love is number one.
Aww.
And communication is very important. And we did marriage encounter numerous times, and I think that was a good learning experience.
Yeah, that was good enforcement.
it's part of the, I'm not, as part of I know of my husband, which is part, he's Carolinian, it has a hard time to share. And so when he had to write it down, because that part of Marriage Encounters, you write about your feelings and write about certain things. And when I was reading it, I was like, wow, he really feels this way, but he had a hard time verbalizing it.
Strength? I agree with her. It's to me, it's trust and communication and understanding. And of course, LOVE. If this is to my friends that are golfers, if I can tell my wife that I'm going to go play golf, because it's two different things, telling and asking. I'm now in the stage where I'm just telling. I'm going to play tomorrow at 12, but it has to be in advance. But some of my friends, they have to ask.
Which do you think is better?
Both of them are good.
As long as you get to play.
Yes.
What do you love most about each other?
What was that?
What do you love most about each other?
No, referring that question to you.
For me, it's his patience, because I can be loud, I can be overbearing at times, and he brings me back to where I need to be. He humbles me, and he has a great deal of patience.
Good. Thank you for coming out. No, it's very hard for Midwesterners to come out here and be out here for 43 years.
I never even saw the ocean before I came here. This was my first ocean. And I can remember him walking down to the beach. Now put your finger in the water. So I put my finger in the water. Now taste it. Salt! I never saw the ocean. And now I can't imagine life without it.
Yeah.
I think her for her strength to be able to come out and blend into the community and be one of us and be part of the Carolinian and Chamorro communities out here.
Tony has a wonderful family. His siblings have all been nothing but loving to me and accepting of me.
I remember as a girl, you were doing the family's hair.
Yes.
You were doing hairdressing services for the family. That's a great way to bond.
Yeah, it is a great way to bond. So when I was in college, that's how I worked my way through college. I went to cosmetology school. So I'm also a licensed cosmetologist. So I used to do everybody's hair.
Except mine.
Yeah.
What would you say you have learned, or has your understanding of love changed since when you were in college to where you are today? What have you learned about love?
I think there's more to love than what most, if not all, of the young lovers out there experiencing, in early age or early stage of the relationship. And I think as you grow with your partner, that love becomes bigger and bigger, where you're starting to see things that comes into play that you take it for granted earlier in a relationship. That's the way I see it. And instead of being, taking it for granted, you use it and use it to an advantage to help in your relationship through love.
For example, can you give me an example?
Assuming things, instead of you bring in that communication, start talking. I think all this part of being together, where you have communication, understanding, love, trust, and all this, that helps us in our relationship. I think it's just work together, and it gives you that feeling of that love or bond to be more secure. I don't know. That sounds confusing.
I look back on when Tony and I were dating in college, and he told me that I was going to have to rake my front room. I was going to have to use banana leaves for toilet paper. He told me everything bad about Saipan. There was no positive.
No, I didn't say about the banana leaf.
You did.
I said if PDN is out, then you go to banana leaf.
And I look back now and I think, oh my God, what was I thinking and I believed that wholeheartedly. And then when we came, we went on island hopper. So we went to Chuuk, to Ponape, and all of those places were really, they didn't have runway. It was hard living. And then we got to Guam and I'm like, everything was concrete. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then we got to Saipan and I'm like, I can do this.
And then going down Astolahi Road.
Oh, no. So before the houses were made from tin,
Right.
There's still a lot made from tin. So, and I'm from the Midwest. So to me, those houses look like
Shacks.
for the animals.
Oh, okay.
Well, what do you call
Well,
it?
that's even worse. Yeah.
I forgot. Anyway, so I think
shed or
yeah,
something.
like a shed, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, I
stick.
can do this. I can do this. But I fell in love with it from that point on. It was just, I can deal with this. If we're going to be together, this is what's going to happen. So that's what we did.
And here you are over 4 decades later. Do you guys make plans for the future? And what are your plans and hopes for the future?
I think one plan was maybe get a couple more kids.
We still have a daughter in Kentucky, and
Okay.
she has 2 of our grands. So we go there every year, and we spend some time there about
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Nice.
6 to 8 weeks.
And then she was just here last summer, and it was so fun to have our grandson has autism, and he's so fun to watch him grow and learn, and then the daughter Azalea is the boss of bosses. And then the 3 that live with us, it's just fun to have them with us.
So it's really about the kids and the grandkids.
Yeah.
And actually, we're talking about like going on cruise, and we're looking at more to a medium-sized cruise ship. We don't want those 2,000 people on a cruise ship. And but I'm worried she might won't be able to take that.
I get seasick
Yeah.
easily.
Oh,
But other than that, we like to go on vacations.
yes.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
Very nice.
We travel together. It's fun.
Well, I want to wish you both a happy advanced Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Oh,
Any
when is
final?
that?
Oh my God.
Tomorrow, it's your
I was
daughter's
gonna-
birthday.
Oh.
Our oldest daughter's birthday is on Valentine's
Oh,
Day,
nice.
Martha.
Any final thoughts before we go?
I don't know. Maybe since tomorrow is Valentine, I hope all the relationships out there gets better every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Um,
Thank you,
good.
guys.
Thank you for having us.
yeah, thank you.
And wish you a beautiful Valentine's Day and
Yes.
a beautiful marriage ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think she baked. Did you bake cake for me tomorrow?
It's hard to get in our kitchen. Our oldest granddaughter and our youngest daughter, they're always in there baking. They
Oh,
like to
that's
bake.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Happy Valentine.
Thank you.
Happy
Yeah.
Valentine's.
Our guests today have been Tony and Susan Satur, married 43 years, sharing about their love and their marriage with us today. This has been your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry. Happy Valentine's.
Your Humanities Half Hour has been made possible in part by a major grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Democracy demands wisdom. Any views, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program do not necessarily represent those of the National Endowment for the Humanities. For more information or to share your thoughts, contact the Northern Marianas Humanities Council at nmhcouncil.org or on social media at 670 Humanities. That's 670 Humanities.